Hey, y'all. Today I'm going to take an old story, one that you've likely heard 100 times before, Goldilocks and the Three Bears. And I'm going to flip it and talk to you about it from Mama's perspective, one you've probably never even thought about. So take a listen, grab your coffee, and if it's like mine, it's already cold, but that's okay. So let's settle in. Hey, y'all, it's Melinda, and welcome to another episode of The Greenhouse. It's a Sunday morning, and I have spent the majority of my morning after breakfast sifting through emails. It seems like it's just gotten away from me lately, but it felt like every single message sitting in my inbox, especially in that promotions folder, was some kind of back to school sale or ad or reminder of some kind, letting us know that summer is winding down and back to school season is upon us. Well, around here, most of our kids have already gone back to school. They started in early August. So that transition is already in full swing for a lot of families near me. I know in some parts of the country, school doesn't start until after Labor Day. But wherever you are, you can feel that subtle shift in the air right now. And for me, there's nothing quite like the nostalgia this time of year. That distinct smell of a brand new box of Crayolas, opening up page one of a fresh blank notebook with those crisp white pages. For me, it's got to be a wide ruled notebook, and they're just waiting to be filled. I am a self proclaimed notebook connoisseur. I love them. I can't buy just one, I have to buy several in all the colors. Give me smooth, fine point gel pen and a notebook over an iPad or a tablet any day. I've even tried those reusable, erasable digital notebooks where you scan your notes to the cloud. But for me, I don't think anything will ever replace the grounding feeling of an actual pen or pencil on paper. But getting ready for a new season always makes us think about fresh starts and clean slates and setting things up just right. But as I sat there looking at all of those ads and ironically holding my pen and making a list, it got me thinking about this story, the one that we all grew up listening to, having it read to us. We've likely even read it to our own children at one point or another. Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Most of us know that story probably by heart, at least most of it. Goldilocks, she wanders into a house in the woods while the bear family's out taking a walk. And she tries all of the things. She tries Papa Bear's things and Mama Bear's things and Baby Bear's things to find what fits her. And when she tries Papa Bear's porridge, she remarks that it's just too hot and his chair is just too big and his bed, well, it's just too hard. And then she tries Mama Bear's things, and Mama Bear's porridge is too cold, and her chair is too small, and her bed is too soft. And then she lands on Baby Bear's things, and all of those things are just right. And growing up, we tend to look at this story through Goldilocks' eyes. It's a story about finding what fits you. It's about finding your comfort. It's trial and error and finding your own sweet spot. But if you ever stop to look at that cabin through Mama Bear's eyes, have you ever actually wondered why was Mama Bear's porridge so cold? All of that porridge was cooked in the same pot, the same time, with the same ingredients. They were all poured into their bowls, before they walked out the door. So why was it that Mama Bear's was cold? Well, in my mind, it's because Mama Bear poured Papa Bear's first to make sure that he was fed and could start eating. And then she scooped out Baby Bear's bowl and she blew on it and she cooled it down to make sure that it was a safe temperature and sat it in front of him to enjoy. And well, by the time she finally got around to pouring her own bowl and taking a breath to finally sit down, her porridge, it had gone completely cold. And I can't help but wonder, why was her bed too soft? I'm sure it wasn't a manufacturing defect. Maybe, just maybe, Mama Bear had pulled the stuffing out of her own mattress to fill Papa Bear's bed so his back wouldn't ache after a long week of heavy labor. Maybe she tucked extra padding into Baby Bear's bed because he was growing out of his crib and into a big boy bed, making sure that he was cushioned and safe and comfortable. She weakened her own foundation, her own things, so that everyone around her could rest easier, so they could eat while it was still warm, so they could sit in rocking chairs that were comfortable. Nothing in that house in the woods functioned without Mama Bear. Yet, when Goldilocks walked in, Mama Bear's life was labeled as wrong or too soft or for whatever reason, not quite good enough, not right for Goldilocks. In reality, none of those things were flaws. That cold porridge, that soft bed, were the physical receipts of a woman who poured into everything and everyone else until she had nothing firm or warm left for herself. And you know what part of the story we never talk about? What happens when Mama Bear came home and finds Goldilocks? The story always makes it seem like the bears scared her away and Goldilocks ran away. But let's be real for just a moment. Mama Bear, if Goldilocks had stayed, if she hadn't run away in a panic, what do you think Mama Bear would have done? She certainly would not have banished Goldilocks. That's not what most women do. Most of us and Mama Bear likely would have walked right over to that kitchen cabinet and she would have pulled down another bowl and scooped out of her own bowl and gave it to Goldilocks. She would have pulled up her soft, worn out chair and offered Goldilocks a seat and made sure that this lost child had a meal and a place to rest and was safe. Because you see, as women, as mothers, as leaders, hopefully as humans, as caregivers, that's our default setting. We don't just care for the people in our immediate circle. We make room for unexpected guests, extra burdens, sudden crises, and the emotional needs of everyone who crosses our threshold, even our mind. We fold extra places at the table, even when our own plate is empty. We give away our rest to make sure everyone else feels secure and cared for. It's a beautiful trait, and it comes from a place of deep compassion, warmth, and strength. But somewhere along the way, we've started to believe that that sacrifice is the only proof of our love. We've started believing that if our porridge isn't cold or if our bed isn't worn out, that, well, we're not doing our job right. We normalize being the last one to eat, the last one to go to bed, the first one up in the morning. We normalize sacrificing our own basic needs to meet the goals of everyone around us. I catch myself doing this exact thing more often than I'd like to admit. And for me, it looks like working a full day in the office for my corporate job, working on the Bloom and this podcast weekends and after hours. And yet I still manage the household. I still make sure that there's milk in the refrigerator, the snacks in the pantry. I make sure that everyone else's schedule is seamless. I check on the family planning meals. I sit down. There are many nights that I sit down after 8 o'clock at night and realize that I haven't even eaten a full or real meal that day. Sure, I've had yogurt or berries or protein shake, but I didn't take the time to actually fix myself a meal. But we do those things. And instead, often I catch myself cleaning the kitchen to eat the cold leftovers when I'm putting the food away or making something small for myself, a sandwich as I'm wiping down the stove. Because I'd been so busy serving everyone else in my life that sitting down to enjoy my own plate felt like it wasn't even an option. Somewhere along the way, I lost the permission to take care of me. And we convince ourselves that this is just part of life. It's part of the season that we're in. But that pouring unabashedly without ever replenishing the source, us, you, me, it doesn't make us a martyr. Eventually, it leaves us empty, just bone tired and empty. So, what if the porridge and the soft bed were never meant to be a badge of honor? What if they were alarm bells or signals that we needed to start taking care of ourselves? The same way that we've given away too much structure to everything else. Recognizing that taking care of yourself first is not taking away from your family. Not at all. That ensuring the house actually has a strong, warm foundation to stand on comes from taking care of yourself. So, right now, I want you to take the next 90 seconds to really look at where you are today. If you're not driving, close your eyes. Take a slow, deep breath. Exhale it slowly and think about what is one thing that you could do for yourself. Look at your upcoming week, where you are in your life right now, and where are you feeding yourself cold porridge? Where are you giving away your stuffing, your energy, your rest, your peace of mind just to cushion someone else's landing, leaving yourself with no support? Give yourself permission right now to feel the weight of how much you carry and acknowledge how deeply, how very deeply you love and how hard you work, how much you give. Feel that mama bear heart inside of you. Oh, and feel the beauty of it too. Feel it, but also the fatigue of it. Look at yourself and ask, what can I reclaim for me this week? It doesn't have to be a grand gesture. It starts with a small act of self nourishment. Maybe, just maybe this week, I want you to cook the meal that you love, even if the rest of the house groans about it. I promise you, they'll survive. Sit down at the table and eat while it's still hot. Take 10 minutes in the morning with your coffee or your tea before you answer a single text message, a single email, or start scrolling social media. Put your needs back on your daily checklist. That's why I created the greenhouse. That's why I started the circle, a dedicated space built specifically for us to come together and unpack the heavy load, to pour back into one another. It's a place to remind you that self care isn't selfish and that you deserve to thrive, not just to survive. Take care of yourself this week and notice where you're giving too much away and start pulling a little bit back, a little bit more of that warmth back on yourself. And if you saw a mama bear or yourself and mama bear today, I want to hand you one small place to start warming your own bowl. Head over to maintainingmelinda.com/quiz. It's 10 short questions. It's 2 minutes and it will show you exactly where you're running on empty, where in your life, which pillar in your life is asking you for care, where you're letting your bowl of porridge go cold. It's completely free. It's very helpful. And until next time, I'll be right here waiting for you inside the greenhouse. Thanks, everybody, and have a great day, and we'll talk soon.